All right. Our mission here is to create the greatest group of professional traders compiled in the world. We work tirelessly every day to improve our individual selves and push each other to get the most out of one another. With each individual's personal accountability, 100% effort, and consistent action towards focusing on our controllables, we will each reach our full potential individually and as a family. I, Stefano's pledge to be the best version of myself today, to do whatever it takes to be the greatest trader that I can be, and to be the most self-disciplined person that I know. I will do the things I have to do today, regardless of how I feel. It does not matter. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. I will control what I can control and not worry about anything else. Reminders, we do not overtrade. We do not over-risk. You don't need to catch a trade today. Focus on 1 to 2 trades per day. You got 2 bullets, right? How are you going to use them? Think about Pirates of the Caribbean. Captain Jack Sparrow had that 1 bullet, right? Capital preservation over capital appreciation. Risk management is your first priority. You want to be able to get that withdrawal at the end of the month. You want to be able to get that withdrawal at the end of the year, and you want to keep your account healthy by that time, right? So you're always thinking about the long run, which I'm about to get into. Keep your trading plan in front of you. Read it before each session. A successful day in the market is not necessarily catching a winning trade. It's sticking to your plan, right? And being able to stack good decisions in the market, smart decisions. Trade what you see, not what you think. We are system oriented. Now, how much money can I make on this trade? Think longevity, think efficiency, and think long term. Think about that. We aren't here just to make as much as we can this week. We're here to learn, and we're here to become better traders over the course of our lives. Have a sense of urgency today with your daily must. Get those things done no matter what. We're here to learn. There we go. Finally, and most importantly, eliminate excuses and any victim mindset. All right. So looking at the economic calendar today, big focus is going to be on good trades balance coming out. That's what I would say the stock market's kind of waiting for. But also, Powell is over in Portugal, and I think some of these other central bank heads are over there as well. Yes, they're all over there together in Portugal talking about monetary policy. Powell recently has said that he's expecting maybe 2 more rate hikes by the end of this year, which is important and interesting as well. So he's sounding hawkish, but also Lagarde's going to be speaking as well. She at the same thing? Yes, they're all the same thing. It's a central bank conference, I would say. But retail sales coming out tonight for Japan, so we'll see if there's going to be a move tonight on GJ. But now we're getting into the nitty gritty of the week, right? We got a lot of volume that should be pumping in today, being that it's Wednesday. But at the same time, keep in mind what the date is, right? You want to close out the month strongly. You want to close it out with smart decisions specifically. So looking at GJ right now, the monthly candle, we have retraced a little bit, right? Creating that top wick as we've expected. Very strong body. Most of the time you're going to see any candle, no matter what the time frame is, leave a top wick or a bottom wick. And that's what it looks like it's happening right now. So I could see us kind of closing right around this area. Maybe we end up closing right back below this area as well. I marked that off because got a couple rejections to the left on the lower time frames. But now looking over here at the weekly, these candles, I don't know about you, but compared to this candle right over here, these candles are getting a little bit weaker, right? Smaller bodies, taller wicks, bigger wicks on the bottom side too, right? So looking at the daily now the daily, we got an idea that price has closed above that previous resistance yesterday, right? Ended up breaking above that area. We held our support right in this area as well. Created that high. Now we're pulling all the way back down into 182, 800, I would say, maybe 700, right? So are we going to hold a support in this area? Are we just tapping to create that bottom wick and then continuing back up? But remember what we've said. We've been holding this bullish trend here. Right? Higher lows, higher highs. And then whenever you start to get like a big move up from that area, price pulls back over here, creates that support, pulls back up. If we get a close below this level right here, this is going to be 182 flat. So if we get a close below that level, right? And price at some point ends up creating some kind of a fake out. That tells me we're most likely going to come back down to 180 or even farther past that. We talked about this yesterday, and then maybe continue up from there, right? So at some point, it looks like we may be exhausting at this point, being that we're so overextended within this trend, within the trend, and it needs a correction. So now looking at the 4 hour over here, we've been holding this support. This is the key level right here. Question is, are we going to get a fake out of this level? Right? Price held that resistance multiple times last week, or no, this is this is on Friday. So we ended up holding that resistance, held it through Sunday as well, ended up rejecting on Sunday, creating a higher low here, right? And this was on Monday. This is part of the trade that we were able to get. Higher low formed over here later during Monday in Asian, broke through that area, held support yesterday during Tuesday, and broke up yesterday, breaking through that resistance over here to create that high. Now we're getting this correction back down to that level. So if we can close below this level, again, make sure that you're being safe and you're waiting for candles to close in that bearish direction if you're going to take any counter trend trade. But at the same time, you could definitely see price correcting this move. Am I breaking up at all?
No, you're good.
I'm good.
No,
Okay.
no trading.
Beautiful. Okay. So now looking at the 1 hour, the 1 hour, that's that support over here that we were talking about, right? And it looks like this morning, I was looking at this candle right over here. We were holding some kind of a support at this area, right? That's that previous higher low that we rejected right over here. We've rejected in the past, holding that resistance. Now we ended up holding support yesterday and just, really rallying up yesterday. But now we're getting this, like some kind of a correction here, which is expected. But again, everything depends on what we're going to be getting at this level right here. Does this level hold support and bounce back up? Or do we get some kind of a fake out? We could capitalize on this fake out coming right back down. What's up, Quentin? Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Morning, how you doing?
Doing great, man. How about yourself?
Great. Just had lunch. Ready to roll.
It's so crazy to me. Like, it's 7 in the morning, and like you guys are halfway through your day already.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Quinn, I was just breaking down real quick the higher time frames here and how like we broke through this resistance yesterday as we were holding that through Friday and Monday, right? We kept rejecting that resistance. Yesterday we closed above on the daily. Now we're pulling right back into that area. So the question is, do we hold that support or do we get that exhaustion that we've been seeing on gold recently, where price creates that overextended high? Then we end up faking out certain levels over here and then pulling all the way back down to 180. So looking at the 4 hour as well, 4 hours been holding a very solid resistance here. We finally broke through, created a new high, retested that level as well. So we held support at that area. Now we're pulling right back to that area. So if we get close below that area, might be able to get some kind of a fake out. But just be smart and patient when it comes to taking any kind of counter trade and sell. We do have this level right here that we got to be aware about. So if price ends up, we're kind of just ranging in this area. This is not something I'd want to be trading in. One thing that we have seen recently, remember last week and the week before where we said when price is in a range, right? And on GJ specifically, what I like to see is price breaking into the range, creating a high up here, and then price holds support, get a hard bounce, creates like a smaller high, right? Pulls right back, harder bounce, new high, right? This gives me the, every time we tap into the support down here, gives me the confidence that we're going to be bouncing off that level and creating a new high. And then there was one time last week or the week before where price was not doing that. And what it was doing was holding that resistance. It looked like that was the high. We pulled back into that area. We barely retest that area right there, right? And then we pull back to the same area. And then all of a sudden, price created the new high after that, right? So I'm wondering if we're going to maybe get the same thing The only reason why I think we won't is because we're at month end, right? It's the 28th of June, and the monthly over here is due to create some kind of a top wick over here, right? So I think we can continue to either consolidate or pull back even more, especially because this 4-hour candle, I like this 4-hour candle. This rejection ended up retesting that high once more and then flipping bearish and closing bearish. Top wick forms past the low of the previous candle. So that gives me a little bit more confidence that we could continue this bearish trend, continue the correction, and maybe get some kind of a close below here. And that gives me more confidence for sells. But again, this is what I was talking about, where we create that high, pull back, barely retest that high, and then we pull back below. So it tells me that we're probably not going to bounce off this support and continue up that way. Maybe we do next week when we have a new month. Price just consolidates until then, and then we just continue back up. A lot depends on the yen. So we'll see. We're looking at the 30-minute. The 30-minute gave us, what have we been seeing the last couple of days here? Where you get that bearish move. It typically happens later on. But you get this bearish move over here, right? Pulling all the way back down to this previous support. Pulls all the way back. You get that liquidity grab. Bearish candle close. Price retests that low. And then price all of a sudden, after retesting that low, bounces from that area and continues out. If we get any kind of strong bullish candle closes, I would expect maybe a retest of this high. But again, remember the timing. Remember it's the end of the month. But this is exactly what we saw yesterday. Right over here. Tap that support and then continue right back up. And then the day before that, we capitalized on right over here and continued right back up as well. Right, so we need to see what for sells. Anybody know? Anybody have an idea of what you would want to see? Very tricky with these.
Maybe a break and retest out of 182,700.
I like that. I like that. Remember, I mean, whenever it's like shitty like this, the price action, it's all like small bodies, big wicks, stuff like that. This is where I would hop up to the higher time frames. Right? The 1 hour. Wait for that 1 hour candle to close below. Wait for the 1 hour break and retest. Maybe you can wait for the 30-minute break and retest, but wait for at least the 1 hour close below this area. Same thing with the 4 hour. The 4 hour makes this whole idea very clean. All you need to see on the 4 hour is what? Close below that same level, right, Carlos? Get that close below that level, we're starting that fake out, and then we're going to be able to take this down. Again, it's the same setup. What's up?
I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, it's the same setup as what we've been getting on gold, right? Price is overextended, creating these highs, right? And then all of a sudden, price fakes us out. And then once that happens, we pull back into that area. A lot of times on gold, we were kind of consolidating around this area before then continuing back up. But we were able to catch these sells on gold, right? Multiple times we were in a range, we took these sells. Price pulls back, we took these sells as well. And then price was just bouncing around and then continued right back up. So we'll see what happens. I mean, for a long time, you don't want to be calling tops so much, but for a long time, we've been really pulling back into these areas here and then bouncing up hard. Pull back, kind of fake this area out a little bit, bounce up. Right? So you just want to be careful when it comes to doing stuff like that. You need to wait for that close below. And that's what I'm waiting for. But again, like I said, based on what we've seen over the past 2 days over here, it's been giving us the same setup. Same setup over here. So if we can bounce off that support, and if we get some kind of a close above this area over here with high volume, I think we should at least maybe retest this area before month's end, right? I would definitely secure a lot right there, maybe hold it to that resistance, and then hold a runner and cancel your take profit. Keep trailing your stop loss like Lewis was doing yesterday in the backtesting session. What's up, Lewis? Look at this. Getting a bounce right off that area. Same exact candle. Right? So these are the things I want you guys to study so that, you know, eventually these things start to get easy for you. You know, you may not execute every single time. It may not always give you an entry within that range. Like it's not like right over here, it's not the cleanest move. Like this right over here was during news. So it didn't give you the entry. You're not really trading during news. It's best that you don't do that, right? But if this wasn't during news, I would have taken this. We went over this yesterday during back testing. So let's see what we end up getting. This is a no trade range. I would say solid sells, solid buys above 183, 100. I would say it's hard to say safe, so I'll say solid. Sells below 182, 700 to capitalize. There you go. And then in here, I wouldn't touch that. All right, we'll see what the price action is right here. Maybe we'll be able to capitalize on something. And then we'll see what we do if we get that close below this area. But I'd rather see that close on the 1 hour or the 4 hour. That's simple. Everyone clear on that? Anyone have anything else to add?
No, I'm good, bro.
All right. So looking at gold now. Looking at gold really coming down. We called this over the last couple of days. I mean, I don't swing. Majority of you guys don't swing either. But, you know, based on the some of these lower time frames over here, we called this on Monday. Right? At the time, we had this weekly candle closing bearish from last week. Very simple, right? Closing below that level, clean move to the left. This candle was bullish at the time. No bottom wick. And we said throughout the rest of this week, with all the data coming out, this thing most likely will flip bearish, pass below that candle, and continue down. I mean, this is the prototypical entry right here. If we're trading on our time frames like we typically do. And, you know, perfect opportunity for you guys to be taking, you know, you enter the first entry, this dynamic entry, you enter after this candle closed, you enter 1 or 2 times as this candle is creating its top wick with the same stop loss, enter another one as it flips bearish, and another one as it passes the low. These are the trades where, like, you can go not all in on it, because I would say all in is full margin, but what I'm saying is these are the trades that you could risk 2 or 3% on and split that up throughout the risk. And the way not to lose as much if price goes the opposite way is using that dynamic risk. So like you enter one after the candle close at 0.225%. 0.25% or 0.5%, whatever you guys want to do. Practice this on the simulator. But perfect opportunity with this setup right here. But going back, we did not take this. Going back to the daily here. I'm just going to look at, that's our support, now our resistance. We've been also respecting this trend over here since 1680 or 1615 actually. All right, we were respecting that over here. Looked like we were going to hold in this key area right here. Looked like we were bouncing up. Nope. Rejected that resistance, came right back down. Oh, wait a minute. We might bounce off over here and continue up. But we didn't. Then once price comes right back down into this area, hold support, it's like, all right, are we getting a triple bottom? That'd be great to continue up. Once you get this fourth tap into that area, you know for a fact, majority of the time, this is a perfect example right over here. 2 examples, actually. Majority of the time, you're either getting a triple bottom or a double bottom before price, breaks off an area in the key area, right? You're never really getting that 4 taps. the 4 taps over here, especially when price is giving you some kind of a bearish trend over here and respecting that area, right? Never say never, but majority of the time it doesn't. So right now it's given a beautiful move over here where we're holding that resistance, holding that right over here. We actually called this as well yesterday, where this candle actually closed like that on Monday, right? This candle created the top wick, or actually created a smaller top wick, started passing the low of that candle, then it pulled back to create a bigger wick, and then passed the low of that candle, closed a strong bearish candle. Beautiful break and retest right here. Top wick forms, breaks the low of that candle. Beautiful entry right there too. Now, keep in mind this move right here that we're going to look at on the lower time frames as well. But this seems to be, it could pull all the way back down through that area, back down into this area right here, being that this wick ended up coming back down into here before shooting right back up. But this was also a bullish trend there as well. So, but just keep in mind what this level does and what price does at that level. It's also right around 1900 right here. This is 1900 here. So, does gold break below 1900? Think about the fundamental thoughts about that, right? In the world when it comes to people thinking about gold and the price of an ounce of gold. 1900 is a very, very psychological level. Think about like any kind of retail person. Forget about banks, institutions, and governments. Think about like you guys. Like, okay, wow, gold. We know that we're probably going to be hitting a recession pretty soon, right? Inflation is coming down, and gold is a good hedge for inflation. But at the same time, any kind of fear in the market, people buy gold, right? And being that 1900 is a psychological level, it's like, okay, I'm safe, or I'm happy buying gold. Once it's almost like a buy limit. If you guys know what buy limits are, you have that buy limit at 1900. So there's a lot of demand in that area where people are going to be buying gold up. So just keep that in mind. Like, I don't think we're going to get that clear break right through 1900. I think we're going to maybe break through at some point, but we may end up faking out and pulling back a little bit at least before maybe continuing right back down again. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So just going to move that there. We got that previous support over here to the left. Resistance, most recent resistance. That's what we want to be marking off right here. Price ends up holding this support, breaking off, like getting a little bounce off of 1913, and then holds that lower high and then breaks right through that level. Clean close below that area right over here on the 4 hour. Next one creates a top wick, past the low. Beautiful price action here. Looking at the 1 hour. Now the 1 hour over here, we're just going to readjust right there. We ended up getting that close below earlier this morning. I was on a Zoom. But we pulled back and created that liquidity grab, closed with no bottom wick. Now this 1 hour candle closed with a smaller body over here. So what I would like to see here is maybe a pullback. Like, I'm waiting for an entry for price to maybe hold a resistance here. And if it does, we created that low, might be able to retest that low and take this down into 1904. Not only that, but 1900. Right? But until then, I'm not looking to take a sell in this area. Let's just go to the left a little bit for a second and reanalyze this area. So right there, it looks like we're in the middle of that range with that zone. If we move this down, that might be a little bit more realistic. You get that resistance, support right over here. We bounced off that area, and then we got that support over here that we ended up faking out with this move, pulling right back into that area. We can maybe mark off. And then we shot right through that area to continue right back up. But that's more realistic. That's 1900 right there, right? So we may have more room than we thought for us to take these sells. But again, we're still in the middle of this range right over here. I'm not interested in taking these sells just yet. I want to see, with New York volume, price pulls back, gives us like a pullback during 8:30, and then we continue right back down during 9:30 stock exchange open. Right, we know that gold likes to push hard and then pull back pretty hard too, and then continue back down. It likes to correct that, move, kind of like this. Beautiful move over here. We pull back, and then price continues right back down. So just wait for the retest, kind of like the same thing yesterday that we were analyzing. Yesterday, what was the example I wanted to say? Right over here on the 30-minute. Kind of like on the 30-minute, right? Price, we got that strong close on that below that support. It's like, oh wow, like I'm really enticed to take these sells. What did we say though? We said no, wait for the retest right over here before we take those, and then we could take those down. And that probably saved you guys at least from a loss, but there's a lot of people in the market, I'm sure, that took a sell right there, ignoring the fact that we should be getting a retest right here before continuing down, right? So price ends up pulling all the way back. This is kind of unexpected, pulls really back hard, and then continues right back down, right? Now, one thing I want you guys to pay attention to too is one thing I've always noticed on gold is when you get a candle like this, like we got this low formed, we pull back hard, multiple rejections of that resistance, liquidity grab, strong bearish close with a bottom wick. Next candle creates that top wick, almost identical to the bottom wick, right? Breaks all the way down here. Now there is an opportunity to maybe grab that sell, right? If you study this setup right here, if you study this whole thing and how often gold does that, you might be able to take advantage of something like that. Now this, it happened over here kind of, right? And you got to pay attention to that. You got to maybe make sure that you're not going to get trapped in some kind of a pullback like that. But this is something we've been studying anyway over the past couple of days. Right? I sent a couple of examples. We talked about it during back testing where you mirror this move over here and then you get that pullback from that area. So, but this is a little bit different. This is where 9:30, 9 o'clock, this is where a lot of volume comes into the market. You end up getting a strong bearish candle close like this with a wick to fill. Look what time this was. This is 10 a.m. This one happened at 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. So strong bearish candle close, small bottom wick, almost identical top wick. 9:30 ends up pushing down, mirroring that move to the left. So again, this is a little bit different of a setup right here, but just analyzing that, my main thing was taking something after that close right there. When you get a strong body like that close, right, with a wick like this, top wick formed, strong body, left a wick to fill, a lot of times this wick ends up getting filled. Anybody ever see that? Or have you guys been noticing this? Anybody?
Notice what, bro? I'm sorry.
You're good. This whenever you get a strong candle, like there's a lot of volume, a lot of momentum. This is 10 a.m. Whenever gold leaves a candle like this, right, with a strong body and a wick to fill over here, right? How many times do you guys notice this wick gets filled?
Yeah, quite a few.
Specifically at high volume times and after data comes out, after news comes out. That typically ends up happening when you leave a candle like that. A lot of times you could get that way. I think it was GDP or NFP months ago. I was able to capitalize on this, but on the lower time frames after data came out, it was a reaction to the news. I don't have time to go into my journal right now, but it was after news came out, reaction to the news. Price left a candle like this on the lower time frames. And what I did was instead of trying to grab this candle, I grabbed the wick fill because it left something like this. And price slowly worked its way down and pulled back a little bit, and then finally retested that wick or filled that wick. Make sense?
But we've also been talking about taking the opposite side of the first impulsive move after news.
Can you break that down? What do you mean exactly by that?
We've been seeing when price like kind of fakes out right after news, making an impulsive move in one direction, and then getting the close on a low time frame back below a certain level and then taking the opposite side. And so when that happens, then we also have a wick that's left behind.
100%. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now. I didn't at first, but you're talking about like gold. Gold could be ranging actually. Gold could be ranging over here, right? And then all of a sudden news pops up, gold gives us a huge move, and then price comes right back down and corrects the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. This is a little bit different. Yeah, this is definitely different than something like that. What did we get yesterday? Let's see this week.
It was like confidence something.
Yes, consumer confidence came out. So that was that move. I more so see it when price like shoots through a resistance and then gives us the fake out, and our move is to sell. Much more than I see like when price ends up, giving us a candle like this right after news. Like we didn't get much of a liquidity grab over here. We got a beautiful top wick formed past the low, and then 30 minutes later at 10:30, we got a beautiful close like that with a wick to fill. So being that we're in this bearish trend over here, right? The higher time frames look the way they do, and we were expecting, this candle to flip bearish and give us a bearish close after that weak bullish candle close, and us to continue down, specifically on the weekly as well, right? Just waiting for that weekly top wick, this thing to flip bearish, fill this wick, and mirror the move to the left. After a candle like that, like I'm not expecting much of a correction over here for a price to correct this entire move. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, with everything around it, like the circumstances and all the other confluence we have, I totally agree. But just looking at that one candle, I'd say like just having this one candle with a long wick, it's like 50-50 if price is going to continue down or go back and correct it. But in this case, I was looking at taking sales too because of the bias with everything else. And also, I'd say sales are start to be even better after the close of the next 30-minute candle. I was looking to take sales right there if this candle had a bottom wick, which it didn't.
Okay. Oh wait, which one? The next one?
Yeah, the one that just next to the big one with the long wick on the 30-minute. Yeah.
Okay. I definitely see exactly what you're talking about. Now when it comes to like leaving a wick and stuff like that, and you think price is rejecting, this is, I mean, the body is so strong with an identical bottom wick. The bottom wick is the same size as the body. This is not like a rejection wick. It's not like we got this candle close like this, right? In a bullish trend.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? Like we're in a bearish trend, and such a strong close like that. Like this is that girl when you go to the bar and you're like, that's the one I want. Like you see her right away. She's confident, she's hot, she's everything. Like that's her. And it's like, holy shit. Like you rarely get candles like this after news. Most of the time, like when you get news coming out, it's a huge candle, and you really kind of miss the entry. This one, like you got the bearish volume, higher time frames are on your side. This candle closes like that with a wick to fill. I would say 80 to 90% of the time, this thing is eventually at some point going to get filled. This is what we talk about, wicks getting filled in momentum with volume, with trend. Make sense?
Yeah.
But great points though, Quentin. Like I totally agree with everything you were saying. So right now, again, higher time frames. I mean, price kind of looks like it's leaving without us right now. But right now, again, all you're looking for, these candles on the 1 hour are getting a little bit weaker, right? This is great. It's going to trap a lot of sellers, right? There are certain times where price will continue down, right? And just leave without us. But we think in probabilities as professional traders. And we know that there's only like a 20 to 30% chance that this thing's just going to drop without pulling back. There's a 60 to 70% chance that we're probably going to get a pullback and continue down. And that's all you want to care about. That's all you want to play. Think in probabilities and numbers as a trader. And if it leaves without you, you can't get FOMO over that because that only happens 20, 30% of the time. You know? So just stay patient with that. Yesterday, we did not break down US 30. I don't think that's that big of a deal for you guys because you guys don't trade it anyway. But we just spent a lot of time on our main pairs here that we didn't have much time for it. So looking at US 30 over here, we've had a couple bearish days, right? Bouncing off that area like we said it would. Now this current monthly candle is retracing, leaving that top wick on the monthly like it typically should. Looking at the weekly now, last week we ended up closing bearish. Right? Got that bearish candle close over here, but right now we are rallying just a little bit over here. But we know that sometimes when you get these bearish wicks or bearish candles closing at a certain resistance, right over here, we ended up pulling back again before continuing up, right? But not to mention, too, we have been creating higher lows. So, like, you don't want to necessarily always call tops, right? This could be another higher low, but we have safe buys once we break 34,500, right? So keep that in mind, too. But at the same time, you know, the stock market or the optimism in the market is not the hottest, right? But looking at the daily, especially with Powell talking about they might end up increasing rates another 2 times before the year's end. But right now, again, you are creating higher lows. I would say it's safe to say that you could potentially end up grabbing, I mean, we'll see in here. We'll see what this looks like in the lower time frames because this is only the daily. So we could very well end up holding a resistance on the higher time frames, on the lower time frames, and get this retest of that low and potentially hold this back down to this low over here. Maybe, right? But safer sells are going to be right here. Safest sells will be once we break 32,600. Coming down into here, most likely. Because it's the daily, these wicks are definitely a support on the lower time frames. But right now, again, we're holding a higher low. We know that this is a key level right here. So if we could close above that level, I could see us maybe pulling back into this resistance once more before continuing back down. Or we end up getting a break through that resistance finally with a lot of optimism, and then we continue back up. I don't think that's going to happen. So we got a nice little rally over here yesterday at 10 a.m. with consumer confidence. I would probably put that right there. We'll see it on the lower time frames. Yeah, we'll see it on the lower time frames here. And I'm also looking at this area right here. I'd be confident in taking some buys once we break above here, right? We're breaking this structure. We'll see what we end up getting. But right now, we are holding a higher low here. Holding a higher low, strong close, retest, continuing up. See the 1 hour? Okay, now it gets a little bit clearer where we can move our zones. So we're holding that support right here. This should tell you a lot right down here. This type of price action, this triple bottom, whatever you want to call it, breaking above this resistance, clean close above, creating a high, holding a higher low, and now retesting that high. So if we could break through here, we might be able to get a move like this coming up this way. Right? If you look at the 30-minute, so 30-minute looks like we are rejecting this resistance so far. Previous resistance to the left. Keep rejecting it right now. We need that close above. And if we could get that close above here, right? Could we mirror these moves coming back up into this area? 34,100. That could be possible. We can either do that. We can either do this and get a fake out and continue right back down, because you got a clean move to the left over here. So we'll see what we end up getting. But right now, don't want to trade inside of here whatsoever. That should be clear to everyone. All right, but we definitely do look bullish over here with the that support that we're holding. I think we could end up rejecting this area for a little bit, and then finally with some volume, we end up breaking through that level, and then continuing right back up from there. All right, let's see GJ. Oh, there we go. GJ's breaking down. I mean, it gave us a little impulse volume push over here, right? How often do we love these setups? Now, you got to be careful taking those in counter trend. Counter trend impulse volume pushes are difficult before breaking any kind of zone. So, like, this is not an impulse volume push I would be taking. That's not my setup. But what I would do is wait for that close below that level here. This 4-hour candle is going to be closing in the next hour and 10 minutes, right? Not necessarily have to wait for that, but it is showing a lot of bearish volume. Like I said, make sure you look at the high created, the bearish move from that area, barely a bottom wick. This candle ends up creating that doji candle. Then you end up getting a candle pushing into that resistance and rejecting it like this. Next one will most likely create that top wick, mirror the move to the left, pass the low of the previous, and continue down. But again, we're not taking any sells unless we get a solid close below here. Then measure our range. Got about 40 pips right in there. So that's okay. So right now, while this is going on, let's journal this together. Whether you take the trade or not, it's good to have this in your journal so you know why you took it, obviously, why you missed it, or why you stayed out. Daily, where I was pushing. In the past couple months, how often have we seen a setup like this on gold? On the higher time frames? I think at least twice or three times. Man, I would love to do the first boot camp, like SFX boot camp, for either for like you guys or like new people coming in as well in Cyprus.
That'd be crazy.
Right? It'd be difficult for guys in the US to get there, but and I'll definitely be doing something in Miami or New York. But I mean, the first one to be in Cyprus would be awesome. I mean, handling logistics and everything and trying to figure everything out. I'd have to maybe use my family, my uncle over there. He might be able to set some things up, but that'd be awesome. Okay, so got GJ downloaded over here. Okay, I want to take a picture of the weekly here on gold. You see how we're starting to pull back over here a little bit. Hold like a little support. That's great. All right. So we're holding a little support here on the 15-minute. I can see us getting some kind of a pullback. Just gonna type something up to someone. Okay. Okay. Look at that. US 30 rejecting that resistance. Man, I took a rookie trade. I was reviewing it yesterday or the day before. A couple weeks, a week or two ago. It's terrible. It was, I just did not wait for, yeah, it was right here. Just didn't even wait for the candle to close above the resistance. You guys with me? Can you hear me?
Yep. Sir.
So looking at this move right over here, clean move to the left, strong close above, bottom wick form past the high of the previous candle. I don't know why I took this. But again, strong bullish price action, strong daily candle close right there, right? Clearly above 176. Creating that higher low over here, nice liquidity grab, bullish candle close on the 4-hour. Next one creating its bottom wick, passing the high. 1-hour candle gave us a strong close, no bottom wick, but we need to wait for that close above that resistance. Bottom wick forming, passing the high. And what we got here was a 30-minute bearish candle close at around 5:54 a.m. This candle is passing the high over here. Close above. See the 4 hour, 1 hour. Where's my trade? Oh, it's over here. Okay. So this would have been a good breakout trade. This is what I wrote in the later analysis. But right over here, it was a little early in my session, but after that candle closed above, right? Stop loss right below that. How many times have we taken this together on the live stream or during the back testing? A lot, right? Beautiful breakout. And I think what I took was, I guess I missed that. And right over here, we created the high. We keep rejecting this area, but I think I was looking at this candle right here, right? Beautiful higher low, higher high formed, strong body. We rejected on the 5-minute there, but right over here, I took it based on this 30-minute, right? Creating a strong liquidity grab and a strong close, but this close was below this level, right? So we need to wait for a close above that area. 15-minute strong close, but again, below that area. First entry after 30-minute candle close created a bottom wick and passed the high of the previous. And look at that, rejecting this area. I have no idea why I took this, but multiple rejections. Just wait for a clear close above that area. And that's it. Take that up after that. We ended up rejecting multiple times. And I just closed the full thing after this candle closed bearish. So, I mean, whether it's wins or losses, I think you guys will learn everything from me. As far as like what you guys could do better or worse. Majority of the time, it's learning from a lot of my wins and stuff. But I think it's good for you guys to learn from my losses as well, because I don't want you guys making the same mistake. So right over here, you know, I could have been looking at this price action and been like, oh yeah, we're gonna break through this area. Wrong. We need to close above. Okay. All right, it's 8 o'clock. What did we just get? We just got a 1 hour candle close right over here, right? Now what do we have coming out at 8:30? Let's check news real quick. No, that's goods trade balance. I mean, for the US, not much. I mean, MPC member Pill is speaking, but at the same time, let's check our other time frames. 4 hours is moving down here. Daily candle starting to break that level. I'm just trying to find a good safe stop loss. Only thing I don't like is this area right here, right? Like I don't want to, like my stop loss above this 30-minute candle, right? This would not give me a safe risk to reward or a good risk to reward. Now, risk to reward doesn't always matter, but in this case, I don't like it. You're right over here. What I would like to do is wait for maybe 8:30, right? Or maybe even 9 o'clock where the 4 hour candle closes and we get some sort of a pullback. Because how many times have we seen GJ make this push, right? Make this push during pre-New York over here, and then price ends up correcting the entire thing and continuing up, right? Same thing right over here. So right over here, what I want to see is if we can hold this resistance, that's my I don't know, contingency for this trade. If we can hold that resistance right over here, create this low, pull back, hold the resistance, this is going to be a beautiful trade later on today. And we might be able to hold this throughout the rest of the morning. Move our stop loss to break even, trail it, whatever you guys want to do. But you guys see the bearish pressure now. Does that make sense? Like, can we see price tanking over here? Absolutely. All right, but you got to make sure one of the last things and one of the most important things is having that stop loss, a reasonable stop loss. Take a picture of this. I love that close, by the way, too. So that's giving me a lot of confidence that we're probably going to continue down. Close. 8:03 a.m. Guys, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, or in my shoes that I used to be in, I guess when I was a beginner trader, or just coming up and really trying to figure out what works for me. I would get a lot of FOMO over this. I'd be like, damn, like it didn't give me a stop loss. Like, I just wanted to get in this. But you got to think in terms of, this is not my setup. This is not like what I take. It can move without me and I could be completely fine. Like the pair can move 100 pips and I don't care. I need my setup. I need my plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. I hope that helps with your mindsets, because again, there's got to be at least one of you guys feeling FOMO over this candle right now, because I used to get the same exact way. But you guys got to make sure that you're sticking to a plan, and that's a successful day for you. If you guys end up seeing this and being like, damn, I could see this playing out, I want to take this sell right over here, and you end up winning that trade, but you didn't stick to your plan, that is something that is a bad habit to create for yourself. Make sense? Try to sit up.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely used to be like that for sure.
Right? Most people are. And that's why most people fail. So what I would like to see is something like this, actually, right? Look like we broke through this pretty hard, right? Broke through 183, 100 pretty hard, continuing down over here. But then what do we get? Nice break and retest. We held that resistance. Okay, that's the first sign that we may not continue up. But now right over here, between this candle and this candle over here, at some point you're going to correct. We should be able to create that resistance right here and at least retest that low and at least get one thing like kind of what we got on Monday, where it pulls back and we at least retest this low right over here. And Lewis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
This will be another perfect opportunity for how I was telling you, like I'm securing majority of my trade right here. As soon as we retest that low, just like we did right here. Like, to be honest with you, I secured at the perfect time. Just price reversed right from that area. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
there
you
was a
won't-
lot of reaction in there.
I think you only closed like 25%, 50%.
Something like that, yeah.
I just remember you asking the question about that. So I'm just trying to give you an example of, we're going to get that same setup over here, most likely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah.
what-
It makes sense to close it mostly because there was a lot of reaction in that area. So
100%. 100%. We said, I was like, we're selling into a demand zone. We got a nice setup over here. And this was honestly right over here. This was honestly the previous resistance on the higher time frames that we ended up closing below and pulling right back into and then continuing right back down. But at the same time, you had this area right here that we were selling into. And same exact thing that we were going over. We create that high, pull back into that area, high demand area, retest that high. Pull back, retest the high again. Pull back, retest the high and create a new high, right? So now we're pulling back into that area. This is not an area to necessarily leave a nice big runner. There are times to do that. But this one is like secure 80, 90%, grab my pips, and I'm out. So right over here, kind of the same thing. See how we're pulling back over here? You also got that 200 EMA on the 30-minute that might be helping you. All right, so we create that low, we create a range. Beautiful. Now, can we pull back here, hold that resistance, and retest that low, secure majority of that, and leave a small runner? Stop loss at break even. And this thing might be able to continue down. See you, Quentin.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. What's goodbye in French?
Uh,
You got to think about it.
I'm thinking about, do I give you the casual? What would I say in this situation? Um,
Isn't it
like
Chow?
ciao, like casual ciao. Bye is salut,
Sadu.
but yeah, salut.
Okay.
But like saying goodbye is au revoir.
What is it?
It's like au revoir.
Can you write it in the chat?
It's like until I see you next time, kind of.
Like, au
It's like
revoir.
it's like arrivederci.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Au revoir.
yeah,
Au revoir. Revoir.
yeah.
What
Au
is
revoir.
what does a bon voyage mean?
Have a
Have a
good
good
day.
trip.
Have a good trip.
Ah.
Okay. Bon voyage. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Because you're going on like a ship, like people yell like bon voyage.
Yeah,
I'm trying to learn the basics of all your languages. Like hello, goodbye, good day, stuff like that. Because at some
yeah,
point I'm coming over to Europe again.
yeah. So yeah, bonjour, au
Bonjour.
revoir.
Wow, look at that pullback on GJ.
Wow.
Man, I want you guys to become wizards on new pairs. That's why it's so important to stick to one or two pairs and just know it inside and out. Sometimes you're going to be wrong, right? But you're going to be right majority of the time because we've seen it so many times. You move on to another pair, it's like, going from trading to real estate. And then from real estate with another pair, going from real estate to e-commerce or something like that. It's a whole nother business. If you think about it that way, you'll start to stick to that one business and master that before you move on to the next one. But Quinn, have a great time back testing. Let me know your results. And I'll
Yep.
see you at 1:00.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right,
Have a
man.
good one.
You too.
What you drinking there, bro?
A little coffee.
You still drink like a protein shake in the mornings or no?
No, if I'm doing a workout, but since I've been doing the 75 hard, I think we talked about it yesterday. I haven't been doing the deck of cards in the morning because it doesn't really count for a workout for that. And I already work out twice a day. So
Yeah.
doing it 3 times a day, it's like gotta give your body some kind of a rest. And plus
Yeah.
I could get more done during that 12 to 15 minutes that I would typically do the deck of cards. I could get a lot done in that time. But where was I that I was? Oh, so the cruise ship that we were on with my family, it was an Italian ship. It's called the Mediterranean Shipping Company, right? And some of the stuff that they had, whether when it comes to food, was actually really good. Some wasn't so good, but one thing that they were really good at doing, just casually, is making coffee and cappuccinos. And they made the best cappuccinos I've ever had in my life on this ship. And same thing with my wife said the same thing because she's a big coffee person, so she loves coffee. She knows what's good and bad. Hates bad coffee, but she was saying this cappuccino is the best thing I've ever had in my life. So I kind of want to start making them. We had a cappuccino maker. I got rid of it. Didn't even use it. I think we gave it away. So US 30, if you look at the 1 hour, giving me confidence that we may end up continuing down from here. When you get a candle like that, right? The one thing I don't like is the fact that this candle doesn't have a top wick. But if it closes like this, I'll be confident in that. I'll be happy in that. In the fact that we may break below here and we may end up getting a sell today. Sorry, I got the hiccups. But this rejection right there, that candle, is awesome. Now we need to just wait for the close below this level. Let me actually take a picture of this. Lewis, you got plans for the 4th?
I was supposed to go to Washington D.C., but I don't think I'm gonna do that anymore. I think I'm just gonna hang out here with some friends.
Okay. What are we gonna do in DC?
I have some friends over there. My sister's there right now visiting, so I was just gonna go out there.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
plans to go back to Columbia?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm sure they'll come.
There you go. You speak Spanish, right? That's your main language?
Yeah, yeah, that was my first language.
Beautiful. Spanish, and I would say I know the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was an idiot in high school and took Italian instead of Spanish.
Huh.
So
Wow.
a lot of good that does me, right? I don't know. I've just always been I'm part Italian, so wanted to be part of that culture, but I don't know, it's just Spanish would have done me a lot better. And I mean, think about all more people that I could be able to help if I was fluent in Spanish. Like there's so many.
You can still do it. You can just download Duolingo and start practicing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Look at that. 15-minute close on GJ. Nice pullback.
Would you have taken GJ after the previous 30-minute candle close and then on this current 30-minute past the lows? Or that would have been too, yeah, because it's stop loss, it would have been too fucked up, right?
So I didn't get the question. What were you saying?
So would you have taken a short on GJ after the previous 30-minute candle close and then this current 30-minute candle past the low of the previous one?
Like this?
Uh-huh.
You may have you could have, but at the same time, like I know after a candle like this with bottom wick, but barely a bottom wick, this one barely had the top wick over here and passed the low pretty much right away. I know there's a great chance that there's a 60, 70, 80% chance price is going to pull back here, give us a resistance, and then we can continue down, especially in a counter trend sell. Like I could take this trade, like that exact trade that you were talking about. I'd rather take that right here. Right here, we're still iffy. We don't know if we're going to end up pulling in here and then pulling all the way back and creating that higher low to continue up. Right? That's why here I need to wait for that retest. That's why I always say, like, if you want to take counter trend trades, you can. If you want to call tops, you can. But do not call tops from the earliest absolute moment. You want to do it from the most recent resistance or the most recent support being broken and retested, which you could have maybe taken right over here during pre-New York. But I'd rather take this over here once we end up breaking below this 4-hour resistance, right?
Yeah.
Like this is going to be a lot safer to take than it will from over here. Because at any point we could have rejected. The one thing that told me that we could be continuing down was this 4-hour flip and close, tapping into that area again. And the other thing too was, the fact that we're at month's end, right? And the monthly needs to, we've been pushing up so hard, we're so overextended. We need some kind of a correction or a retracement. So we might be getting that today. Let's actually look at, so the dollar over here is holding that higher low, like we said yesterday, right? So the dollar could be coming back into this area, right? We were holding that resistance yesterday, and we say maybe we hold support back in here and start to push up from that area. That's why you're seeing a lot of bearish volume on gold. But the yen, so the yen is still pushing bearish. The yen is still like really, pushing down. Clean move to the left over here. Could be coming into here. So that doesn't make me too confident. Like the fact that we're just tanking over here and we already opened. So the fact that the yen is just tanking over here doesn't give me much confidence that this thing is going to continue down much further. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I think our best case scenario would be waiting for this 4-hour candle to close below this support over here. And once it does, we know, especially a strong close like that, we know the next one will create a top wick, and maybe we can at least take this thing down to 182.200. But I'm not saying you have to wait for the 4-hour, but that might be just your best option, safest option. I want to talk about like goals and dreams a little bit and what you guys plan on doing. Like, I want you to visualize your withdrawals. I think a lot of you guys have been doing a really great job with patience, especially Lewis and Serge. Like, compared to when you first came in here, Serge, your patience is so much better now. And you're just building that muscle every single day. But like, what is the point of your trading? Like, what kind of withdrawals do you want to get, and what do you want to do with them? Anyone want to go first? I'll make the call.
All right, Serge, I'll let you go now.
Well, I just want to make it full time, after a while.
Okay.
So you just need to make at least what you're making now when you're doing the job. So it's like for 3 to 4K in pounds, but obviously would like to have a bit more.
Okay. So yeah, let's make that a little bit more specific too. Like, everyone says they want to trade full time and get withdrawals and stuff like that, but like, what do you want to make your first withdrawal? Like, at what percentage of your account? It could be the monetary value. What are you going to do with that? What's the plan here with your account?
Folks, just in case you needed a reminder, we do of course Bailey and
Yes,
Beatrice
one moment.
radar set to take place in about 1 hour 10 minutes. My colleague has prepared a primer he's put on the news feed, just highlighting the key themes for each central bank that we're keeping an eye on as we.
You want to go, Lewis? Carlos? Don't be shy, guys.
To me, bro, I wanna make withdrawals, and then part of them I wanna save them to for for a property, and then the other part I'm gonna invest them into crypto.
Okay. Do you know the property you want to get yet?
Not yet, but I have an idea. I have an idea where the location and around the price range, but
Shit.
the exact location, no, I don't know yet.
Of course, you don't know the deal yet. What's the typical location? Like what are you looking to do? Is it gonna be a buy and hold and rent out? Is it gonna be a flip? Wholesale?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I think I just want to just I'm pretty sure I'm gonna just I don't know if I'm gonna buy like a fixer upper. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Maybe at first I'll do like a small townhouse to like for me to live in,
Okay.
and then the second property would be like I can do like a like like a like a fixer upper, I guess, and I can flip that.
Okay.
But the first one I just want it to be something I can like I don't want to sell it. I just want to live in it. Something small, nothing too crazy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's it called? Let me just do something real quick.
Gold's going crazy right now.
Yeah, gold's pulling back a little bit, which is great. That's exactly what we want, right? Let's get that.
Because Comex open and used. That's
Yeah.
what make, and it's been swelling off Asia and London. That's why it's starting pulling back.
E22, right?
Yeah, 20 minutes past 1.
Okay. Just stay patient for it. But yeah, Lewis, I love that, right? And one thing that you want to make sure is you got to be super specific, or at least as specific as you could possibly get on that goal, right? Like it's got to be so clear and so specific as much as you can. Like I say, you don't know the deal yet for that real estate deal, but you know exactly what you want to do with it. You have an idea of like how much it's probably going to be in your price range, and that's got to be the only thing that matters to you, and that's what drives you in your trading, right? Like you got to have some kind of a withdrawal plan with your trading account, whether it's 20% of your account, whether it's I want to pay this bill, whether it's anything like that, without forcing it. You just got to have that goal in mind, that something that you're just chasing, like that house. I've shown you guys. Do I have it on here?
Yeah,
This house.
it's like a mansion then.
I'm buying this house. Like that's it's all I care about. You get what I'm saying? Like you think about like Gary Vaynerchuk. You can say whatever you want about him. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I like some of the stuff he says. But all he cares about and all he's working towards is buying the New York Jets. And that could easily be one of my goals too, because I'm a huge Jets fan. But like having such a clear, concise goal in your mind is so fucking important. That's all you're chasing. Nothing else matters. You start to understand what you're spending your money on. You start to really look closely at what you're saving for, where you're investing, all that stuff, and it just becomes so clear to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, of course.
So I think that's really important in trading is having that clear goal. It doesn't have to be that big, like something like that, but it's got to be like one thing I'm working with Quentin on is the vacation that he's planning for his family. Like he's very clear on where he wants to go, what they're going to be doing on this vacation. He's going to pay for everyone to do it, right, with his trading funds. And that's super important to him because his family likes to travel. They like to do those things. So that's what he's working on right now. So like again, this real estate deal, whatever it is, let's try to clear up exactly what you're going to be doing with it, how much the price range is, how much of your account you need to be able to get to that point. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, for sure.
Good shit. Carlos, you got an idea?
As far as like what are my goals?
Yeah, like what are you going to be spending your your first withdrawal on? What do you want that withdrawal to be on?
Man, honestly, that's a good question, man. Never really I guess thought about it. Like my goals, like for sure with trading is just being able to like be a provider, as far as like retiring my dad and and just enhancing my life as well in a positive way.
Okay. So we could start with the first one, like figure out what that would take for you to retire your dad. Like how much you're gonna need to make a month for that to happen. To support yourself and to support your dad. Or better yet, one thing that you could do is give your dad a business or start, hand over a property or something like that for him to take care of, because you don't necessarily want to retire him in that way, because once someone retires, that's the beginning of the end. When someone stops working or working towards something, and all they're doing is living off of you, you don't want that kind of relationship either, because then they're just going to want more and more and more.
Yeah, I believe in that. Like I feel like someone like as people get older, I think it's best to continue to use your body.
Yes.
And yeah, that way, it won't become old as quickly.
Yeah. That's why I always say to you guys, like, we're working towards something where you're constantly pursuing something. You're constantly trying to get better every single day. And this is never going to end. Like, that's the type of life that you want. It's not so much, we're going to work like most people, we're going to work till we're 65 and then we're going to retire. Fuck that. You're gonna work your entire life, majority of your life, just so that you can actually live your life at 65 when you're that old. Not that that's that old nowadays, but it's pretty old. You guys want to work your ass off in your 20s so that you can really live a great life in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, and the rest of your life after that, and take care of the people that you love. So like, here we go. We got 15. We got the 15-minute close here. 30-minute candle closed. I love that. Close right below that level. So what I'm wondering is, if we create a top wick over here on this candle and then start to flip bearish, I think that'll be my entry. 20 pip stop loss for a 25 pip move range. And then we can maybe continue that as well. But just keep in mind this 4-hour candle going to be closing in the next 30 minutes. But I like that we got this 1-hour candle strongly closed below the 1-hour support. Top wick form passed below the previous candle here. 30-minute candle just closed below this 30-minute support right over here with a wick to fill. But I would like to see a top wick formed. Make sure it's respecting. Also, the 30-minute ended up closing below. Sorry. Let's take a screenshot here. Minute close each 30 in. So let's see. Does this that's what I'm saying. The 200 EMA over here. 30-minute just closed below strongly with a wick to fill. Just trying to see. So 15-minute is holding a resistance right in that area. Right? So the stop loss might be able to go right there, right above that resistance. Got high volume time here, 15-minute, 8:32 a.m. What I want to do here is magic keys. Now, also, I want to take a look at gold for a second, too, because gold is creating that lower high. 30-minute candle just closed bearish, but right at that support here. All right, so we're still kind of like holding this area as a support. So you want to be careful with taking that sell. If this candle closed like somewhere right here, I'd be confident in maybe taking this down a little bit more. But something tells me that gold still wants to pull back a little bit, and it's trapping a lot of sellers. Previous 1-hour candle just closed bullish, too. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to take a picture of the way this 30-minute candle closed. Wow, look at that. Look at that, man. Know your pairs inside and out. 3-minute. 8:32 a.m. Back to GJ. To the T, guys. Let's see. If this candle starts to flip bearish, might have an opportunity to take this. I would love this setup if this was on the 30-minute. But it's not. If this thing starts to break its own low, stop loss would go right there. Big profit would be right around like 1-to-1, a little bit more than 1-to-1. All right, we're flipping bearish here. And we break our own low. You guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Starting to see a little volume pumping in. 5-minute closed. You should see the 5-minute here. Oh. Okay. I am in. Okay. No. I'll do that. Team entry 8:36 a.m. It is 8:35. 30-minute. Anyone else in this?
Yeah, I took a position, bro.
Okay. Now, again, always being aware of any kind of exit plan. If we get any kind of bullish close here in the 15-minute, then I'll be cutting 50. But right now, so far, it looks good. I would love for this thing to break its own low over here. Right, continue to push bearish, break the low of the previous candle, and push down over here. 20 pips. I'm closing, I would say, majority of the trade. You see, a lot of volume has been coming. 8:30 is the same time we took the last trade on Monday. Gold is still kind of ranging a little bit. Pulling back again, like I said, if we get the close on the 15-minute bullish, I'll close 50. But this could just be a pullback, a retracement, and then price continues right back down. Should lower time frames. Five-minute looks like it did the same thing where it tapped into that area, and now it's pulling back from there, which I don't like, but that's okay. Oh yeah. So the 5-minute did close bullish, but we're waiting for the 15-minute, not micromanaging. Cool, calm, collected.
We'll try and like on a ninth time to break this little resistance on 5 minutes, you know.
What was that, Serge?
Ninth time gold tried to break resistance on 5 minutes.
Oh, gold did?
Yeah, I think he's gonna break it now because not yet, but
Yeah, gold's holding that support right there. That's why we didn't take the sell.
yeah, if you look on 5 minutes, you will see lots of wicks, and now it's probably gonna break.
Let me take a picture
Yeah.
of this.
I think I'm looking for a buy above 1908.
Okay,
Well,
I like that. 30-minute, 8:41.
yeah, it broke the lows a bunch of times, and then it went right back up.
Oh yeah. US 30. See that? Holding that resistance right there. Safe sells below that support. Read this 15-minute to flip bearish and close. There we go. There we go. Yo, GJ, push down. Go back to gold for a second. Just holding that support, right? Man, we might have some nice 930 sells here on US 30. Here we go. Bearish close, Carlos. Goes a little bit weaker, but maybe 845 volume gives us a nice little tank.
I like the 1 hour too.
Yeah. Let's do US 30. I always add the wrong screenshot sometimes. Minute. 1 hour, huh? Yeah, 1 hour looks good. We got our back testing session today. Let's see what the small time frames look like. So that 5 minute candle ended up closing bearish there with a wick. Let me take a shot of that. Now let's go. Bearish pressure. Keep breaking through. Break through the low over here. Let's go. Do this what we want, TJ. We're starting to hold that support a little bit.
Looks like gold want to go up for a bit because dollar pumping and gold is pumping as well.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yep, look at that. Why we didn't take that sell, right? But at some point, you know, gold, I'm telling you, it's gonna hold this resistance most likely, and we'll be able to retest that low. Maybe not right away, but within the next couple hours, or maybe tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. US 30 over here starting to approach the support even more.
I think it's selling because of Powell speech today as well, because the news were kind of neutral.
Okay.
But there are some, like this analyst I'm paying for, they say there should be some dollar selling. Maybe
Should be
after
dollar
3
sign?
o'clock when the option expiry happened.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because there is lots of options expiry at euro dollar, you know, at 3 o'clock my time. So it's yours is like 9.
True.
Not 9. Yeah, 10
About to be
o'clock.
9.
10.
Yeah. About to be 9.
For those who keep an eye on the
Carlos, how much you risk on this one? This is a 1%er for me.
What was that, bro? My bad.
I was saying, how much did you risk on this one?
Oh, just a 0.5%.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, risk 1% on this. Yeah, 5. I would like to see 565 over here. 570. Hold that resistance. This whole area right here. I'd like to see that area hold a resistance and continue to drop down. It was a strong 30-minute candle that closed, but at the same time, it's a little bit weaker than the previous. But I do love the 15-minute resistance held right here. If we could just start to break through, the fact that the previous one closed bearish as well, lower high, we could create a lower low here, I think we'll continue down. Get that pre 9 o'clock volume. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. A minute. 9:52. This is why it's important to, when you're backtesting on your own, to do some sessions, majority of your sessions in real time like this. Just wait for it to play out. You could stay patient. Everything's playing in our direction, but we need the volume to push us through here. It just seems like it keeps holding this support. You know what? I like that lower high here. If we could break here. one thing that might be able to play in your favor if you do without micromanaging is I think if the 1 minute ends up closing above 560 over there, then you can cut off 50 or the full thing. But I don't want to micromanage that. You guys ever do that thing where you're like touching the screen and trying to push it down? I think there's a lot of pent up volume happening. And I was talking about yesterday, either during the live session or the backtesting session, where like you'll get a nice push at like 8:58 or 9:58, like the last 2 minutes of an hour. All of a sudden, like volume just pushes in. We've journaled about that quite a bit. To break that level. So what you need, what I would see happening is if the 1 minute can close below this support right here, the next one is going to push hard. 8:56. Gold still playing around. Let's go, DJ. Close below that. Come on. You can do it.
I was thinking the same thing about the 1 hour.
What about the 1 hour?
Like if it could close below that, that's the support you got right there.
That'd be nice. That'd be very nice. Even like right here, that looks like that 1 hour zone. 182 457 previous resistance over there to the left. But like if the 1 hour could close below 435 like that, I agree. That would mean the 30-minute closing below this support right here. That'd be great. I think 9 o'clock could maybe give us some solid volume. Going back hard. But again, if we get that close above this level, we know that we can manage risk. Take 50 off. Just edit this right here. Modify.
How would you feel if the 30-minute closed bullish doji?
The 30-minute?
Yeah.
Then I'm closing 50.
Okay.
But right now, it looks like we were just pulling back here. We may end up closing below that level. I'm just gonna wait for this everything to close here. Because the 1 hour is gonna be closing a strong bearish candle. The 4 hour is gonna be closing below that level that we want. Right? The only thing I worry about is the next 4 hour creating its top wick before continuing down. Got 8 seconds left. We're taking screenshots. Okay, we got a strong 1 hour candle closed. Or close. 30-minute. 30-minute close, a weak bullish candle, which tells me I may need to take some off, but I want to see how this one forms. If this candle starts breaking the highs, like if it breaks through 560, I'll cut the 50. Makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll move my stop loss above the current 30-minute candle right here. Make sense? Instead of cutting risk off, I'm just gonna lower my risk by doing that. Stop loss move down. What do you think, Carlos? We just
Yeah, so like if it hits your stop loss, you'll be okay with what you lost, or
yeah. 1 second, Carlos.
okay.
Sorry, my wife's in a meeting. So I was just saying I just moved my stop loss down above that current previous 30-minute candle to limit my risk. Make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Good. Well, this better play out soon. I got things I got to do. But the 4 hour technically just did create a top wick over here. All right, so we already might have our top wick on the 4 hour. The previous one closed a strong body over here. Only thing it did was leave a beautiful wick, but it's big, right? Which tells us that there could be a bigger wick over here formed before continuing down, but not always. Maybe I should take a screenshot of the 4 hour. 4 hour close. Give me 1 sec, guys. All right. Looking nice, right, Carlos? Carlos,
Yes, sir.
how you feeling?
Looking good, feeling great.
All right.
Yeah, um I'm not I feel like I'm not gonna take any any profit till 182 350 around the area, maybe close like a good 75-80%,
I like it.
and then possibly move my stop loss maybe a little bit below entry. But for now, I'm good right now.
I like
It's going well. It's going really well.
100%. 15-minute. 9:07 a.m. Yeah, I'm looking for those 20 pips, that 1-to-1. What I'm also gonna do too is limit my risk even more by moving my stop loss above this candle right here. Minute stop loss move down. Because after that 4-hour close like that, we should be coming down into this support here. Can you move to the left? 1 hour, mirroring this move down to the support here. I could technically go break even here, but I'll give it a little room to breathe. Especially if this candle closes like that, the next one comes back to break even and then continues down. So give it some room. Come on, man, push. Lewis, Serge, you guys here?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Awesome. Lewis, you didn't like this one?
It's not like I didn't like it. I was expecting a little more pullback
Me too.
before I enter in. But I did like shorts. I just wanted a little bit more of a pullback before getting in.
I agree. I know exactly what you're talking about because I would have liked a better pullback too. But the what it gave us was nice. The 15 break and retest, and then we took
Yeah.
it based on the higher time frames, like the 30-minute. Waited for the candle to break its own low. That shows volume in the market, so that's why I took that.
Yeah, I can see it. It's working out perfectly fine now. Are you breaking even or no?
No, I didn't move it to break even. I have it above this 30-minute candle. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I just took 50 off right here. Right there. Close 50. That's how many pips was that? 2. Stop loss at break even.
Your entry was at 182.433.
Entry was at 182. Where is it? 480.
480.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to cancel my take profit. Stop loss going to break even. And now I'm going to close another 50% here. Minute close another percent at 19. 30-minute close 50% at 15. Did 15%. Okay. All right, guys. Carlos, great job. I got so many things I got to do right now. Carlos, you secure?
Yeah, I secure majority of it, 90%.
Beautiful. Good shit, man. Great work.
Could you try again?
Yes, sir, for sure.
Great work. Great job, guys, today. I'll see you guys at 1.
Later, man.
Get some back
Yep.
testing. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Great work today. Get those daily musts done every single day. Push your gas down and get your shit done. I'll see you at 1.
Yes, sir. See you there.
See you guys.